Welcome to Policy and Prejudice. My name is Chris Stevenson. Today is the 9th anniversary of the day that the earth stood still. Several pilots decided to bomb key points within the United States. They were American trained pilots. Two of them, of course, we all know, the best known ones were the attacks to the World Trade Center. Another bombing took place at the Pentagon. One still that many people felt was aimed towards the White House was thwarted by the very passengers. I believe it was Flight 93. Those brave passengers gave their lives just as others gave their lives within the vicinity, the immediate vicinity of those structures on that day, September 11th, 2001. It's a day that changed the way people viewed the world, especially Americans. Made us very vulnerable. We were used to hearing for years about terrorist attacks upon airplanes, school buses, and buildings, but not in the United States. This always took place in the Middle East, for the most part, Africa, wherever, but not here. It made it very easy to get angry and become angry at Muslims, Arab Muslims especially. But beyond the anger, there's a few things we didn't really look at. It's how complicit was the United States government in the process of facilitating this attack. There are a lot of suspicion rose. All types of internet rumors came up. Some things, however, cannot be denied. It couldn't be denied that there was some sort of pre-warned or foreknowledge on the part of key people within the government. There was the August 6th presidential daily brief given to then President George W. Bush. Bush and his at that time National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice wrote those warnings off, having to do with bin Laden intending to attack the United States of America. We learned after the attacks that the Saudis were connected through an agency, a contractor agency, with the father of George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, a former president. We learned later that there were other inconsistencies and disparities. As I mentioned before, the pilots were financed and trained to fly those planes. Evidently, they just flew. They were just trained to fly, not to become commercial jet pilots, but to become suicide pilots. So most of those hijackers and pilots were Saudi people. The war, of course, would not be against Saudi Arabia. It took place first against Afghanistan and then, oddly enough, Iraq. We live in a time now where our current president, Barack Obama, is calling for a drawdown. Troops are coming home, finally starting to return home from Iraq and Afghanistan. My opinion is the oil companies and the military-industrial complex has made all the money they wanted to make from these bogus wars, especially the war in Iraq. So they are now permitting the president to let the troops return home. This is, of course, after thousands of lives, thousands of our soldiers have been lost, not to mention tens of thousands of citizens living in these countries. There's a lot to learn regarding the tragedy of 9/11. The fact is, it's almost too much to learn. We don't want this to happen again. We want to believe that we're in a safer country. We want to believe that people who think in the extreme, whether religiously or politically, will just keep their opinions to themselves. But don't bet on it. My name is Chris Stevenson. Thank you for watching Policy and Prejudice. See you next time.